This is Radio Brockley.
Hello and welcome to Brockley News, Radio Brockley's weekly show, keeping you up to date with all you need to know about what's happening in and around the hospital. I'm Joyce, and coming up today we'll be hearing about the Barbra bus charity based here in the hospital, which allows people to hire out vehicles which are adapted for wheelchair users. Find out how they could help you in the next half an hour. And also the RNOH held its own fireworks display earlier in the week, and we sent a couple of our reporters along to speak to some of the people who turned up. Then at 8:30 it's your chance to win some Radio Brockley goodies without leaving your bed. It's Bedside Bingo with David Rauch, and then at 9 tonight is a whole hour of your favourite tunes in the company of Keith Reeve on the Sunday Request Show. So stay tuned to London's longest running hospital radio station, Radio Brockley. Well, first tonight we hear about one of the other charities based here in the hospital, the Barbra Bus Charity. Their coordinator, Julia Pry, came in to speak to me recently to tell me more about the charity, so I started by asking her how it all began.
Well, the charity started in 1968, and it was started by Barbra Wernley, who was a patient in the hospital here. Sadly, as a teenager, she contracted polio, and she had a very severe form of polio and really never lived anywhere but in the hospital for the rest of her life. As she grew older and got used to the hospital environment, she was very lucky. Her parents lived locally, so she had plenty of visitors and plenty of people who could lift her into their car and take her out and about. However, she realised that a lot of other people weren't so lucky. They were in a hospital that was a long way from home, and they didn't have visitors and they didn't get outings. She began to think about what she could do, and started to get people on board around the hospital with the idea of providing a vehicle that people in wheelchairs could go out in. Now, as you can imagine, this was 1968. Things weren't quite like they are today. People were in hospital for a lot longer than they are generally nowadays. She started raising funds, and the hospital community supported her fully. They ran raffles and sales, not car boot sales, we didn't have those then, did we? Jumble sales, all sorts of events were held and money was raised. After a year or so, they had raised the grand sum of around £2,000, which was enough, believe it or not, to buy a large vehicle which could take 4 wheelchairs on outings. Quite a lot less than we have to find these days when we need to replace our vehicles.
And this was back in 1968, you say?
Yes. The first vehicle was on the road in 1969. The charity was formed in 1968.
So how long did she then run the charity completely on her own from her ward, presumably?
She had the backing of some trustees, several people in the hospital who were willing to support her and help her with the running of the charity. But she was the contact point in the hospital right up until just a few months before she died, which was in 1995.
OK, and in that time there was just the one bus running then, was there?
There was one bus to start with. As I say, that was a big one which took 4 wheelchairs. It was I'm always told it was like a cardboard box on wheels. I wasn't involved in the charity at that time, but I have seen pictures of it. It was a sort of big square thing. Never mind, it filled the purpose. Then Barbra got what they referred to as the Pope-mobile, a converted Mini with one of those high roofs where the wheelchair went in, and person in the wheelchair had good eye-line vision from their wheelchair with the raised roof. That was also run as part of the fund, and it carried on like that for quite some time. With just the 2 vehicles, which were used within the hospital and also lent out to people that Barbra came across, people who needed transport but weren't necessarily patients here.
So how many vehicles do you have in your fleet now?
We now have 8 vehicles here at Stanmore. We have one at Stoke Mandeville Hospital. We have one in Wakefield, Pinderfields Hospital. And we also have a little outpost in North Wales where we have 3 vehicles.
Wow, so it's gone national now then.
Oh,
Barbra.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So do they all have names?
They do all have names, yes. The names that we give our vehicles enable us to identify them much more easily than remembering all the registration numbers. And they also enable the drivers to make sure that they're taking the right vehicle out. We have our current chairman of the Barbra Bus Fund is Barbara's nephew, Richard, and he was actually born in the year that the Barbra Bus Fund first started. So our 40th anniversary, for example, his 40th birthday, so big celebrations all round.
Absolutely. Wow, that's fantastic. So tell us about some of the ways that patients have made use of these buses over the years.
Yeah, the vehicles can be used by anybody really who needs to travel in their wheelchair. That's the whole purpose behind it. So they're for people who can't easily transfer out of their wheelchair to go into a normal car. And people have done all sorts of things in the Barbra buses, and the buses have enabled them to get to places that they might have thought impossible. Every year there's a crop of weddings, big family parties, christenings, that sort of thing. Further afield, people come from abroad and want to visit friends and relatives in England, and they hear about the Barbra bus and they borrow a vehicle so that they can get around and see all the relatives. We've had people from Australia, from Newfoundland, all over the world. They've come and used the Barbra buses to get around this country. People from here can take the vehicles abroad if they wish. They can go anywhere in the European Union, the restriction being that that's where the insurance covers us. The day trips to France are fairly common. Buckingham Palace garden parties. We've chauffeured people to Buckingham Palace garden parties. We've taken a bride and her father who was disabled in the Barbra bus to her wedding with ribbons on the front and everything. So generally, anything that you would do in your own vehicle, you can do in a Barbra bus vehicle.
Wow, a real range of stuff then. So how long can you actually hire it up until? For how long a period?
Normally we restrict people to a fortnight at the most. That enables them to go on a fortnight's holiday. We will sort of spread it out by a day either side if they need to make an early start and so on. Having said that, realistically now we are so busy, there's very few times that one can find a Barbra bus available for a whole fortnight. But we do our best.
I was going to say, do you have to book well in advance? How does it work?
We always say to people, if someone wants to go on a holiday or they're going to a specific event, like, for example, a wedding, as soon as they know the date, please let us know. Otherwise, it's one of those things where some weekends or some weeks, in fact, become particularly busy and we have no idea why. Other weeks there are vacancies, but we do say to people, if you just fancy a day out, it's always worth ringing to check, because obviously the nature of the beast, people do get perhaps to the stage where they're not well enough to go out and they have to cancel. So if we get a cancellation, we're always happy to fill it up with someone at short notice.
And how many people does each of the vehicles take? But obviously it depends on the size of each individual vehicle.
We've got basically 3 sizes: small, medium and large. The large vehicles, of which we have 2 at the moment, take up to 3 wheelchairs. Those are accessed by a fully electronic tail lift. So the wheelchair is wheeled on and then the lift takes it up into the vehicle, and you can fit 3 wheelchairs into those. Then we have medium-sized vehicles, of which we have 5. Those have 4 seats plus the 1 wheelchair space. So they're ideally suited to family outings and so on. And then we have 1 slightly smaller vehicle which just has 2 seats and 1 wheelchair, and that tends to be very popular with couples who one of the parties is disabled and uses a wheelchair and just wants to be driven by their husband or wife, and so that's an ideal small vehicle.
And once people get into the vehicle, can they transfer from their wheelchair into a seat in the vehicle, or do they have to stay in the wheelchair?
The purpose behind the vehicles is that they do stay in their wheelchair. Sometimes we get people who would ideally like to use the large vehicle because there's 2 wheelchair users, and if one of those is able to transfer and has a fairly small folding wheelchair, then the medium-sized vehicles could accommodate those with one person transferring and another one staying in their wheelchair.
Right, okay. And do you have volunteer drivers as well available if people want to hire out the vehicles but don't have a driver themselves?
Yeah, we do have some volunteer drivers. As always with volunteers, there's never enough of them. We have some really lovely people who've been with us for many years now driving the Barbra bus vehicles. Mainly we say that the volunteer drivers are for shorter local trips. However, there seems to have been a rash of people going on cruises or going on holidays, and we take people to the airports, various airports all around the London area, and we also have taken many people this summer to Southampton to hop on their cruise ships and then collected them again afterwards. We also use our volunteers to take people if they're going to respite care, for example, so drop them off one Saturday and pick them up a couple of weeks later. But we do encourage people to provide their own drivers where at all possible. That takes the uncertainty out of whether there'll be anyone available, and also means that they have much more flexibility. They can book a vehicle up for a weekend and they can do 2 or 3 things during that weekend with their own driver.
Well, you say you're always looking for volunteers, so your chance now for a free plug. If anyone might be interested in being a volunteer driver, how do they go about doing that?
Yeah, well, the first thing to do would be to call us on 0208 416 0733 and tell us that they would like to be a volunteer driver, and we'll arrange to meet them, show them the vehicles and tell them what it involves. But basically, if you enjoy driving and you enjoy the company of people and you are physically able enough to secure a wheelchair into one of the vehicles, then we would welcome you with open arms.
Right, there you go then. Fantastic. Good luck. Hopefully you'll get some volunteers for that. So let's talk about costings now. How much does it cost to hire out one of the vehicles?
There are no set charges at all. We don't make any charges. We ask simply that people pay to fill up the tank, so everybody just pays for the fuel that they use. And we do ask people to make a donation as well, but obviously that is entirely up to the individual, and we often get asked, how much should we give? And we're very reluctant to commit to that because people give what they think they can afford, and we don't want to second guess that. And if you're using a volunteer driver, we do make a nominal 35 pence per mile charge just for the fuel and maintenance of the vehicle. But apart from that, the service is free.
Well, that's brilliant. And do you rely on any other fundraising events during the course of the year, or do you get all your funds from these donations?
Well, we have quite a lot of our customers themselves do fundraising for us. The care homes that use us, quite a lot of local care homes will use us for their outings and so on, particularly with the larger vehicles. They often hold events which raise money for us, just raffles and so on. When they have their open days and so on, they'll often put a display about the Barbra Bus Fund and encourage people to make donations. Several individuals who have benefited either themselves or their families will hold fundraising events or do sponsored events for us. So money comes in through that source. And we are, we're always looking for ways to top up our money, but we do have a solid base which to use to purchase our vehicles.
So how many of you run the charity now?
Well, there's only 2 of us in the office, 2 part-timers. We have just recruited a 3rd person who'll be starting in the autumn. And we are supported by the trustees of the fund, who meet every 6 weeks or so to discuss everything that needs to be discussed about the vehicles and about the fund.
And how did you first get involved in the charity? I
simply saw an advertisement in my local newspaper for a part-time co-ordinator. For several years, when I first started working for the fund, I worked from home and spent lots of time racing up here to demonstrate vehicles to people. And then in 2004, we were lucky enough to secure an office in the Louis Fleischmann building in the hospital.
Okay, so if anyone wants more details on the services that you provide, how can they get more details?
Yeah, they could look at our website, which is www.barbrabus.com, or they can telephone us on 0208 416 0733, and if we're not there, just leave us a message. As I said, we're part-timers, so there's not always someone in the office, but there is always someone that you can contact.
And we'll have the link details on our website as well. Are there any other ways that people can support your charity?
Well, I think financially and by driving are the 2 main needs that the fund has, to be honest.
Okay, well, hopefully those plugs that we did earlier on will mean that people will come forward. Julia,
Excellent.
thank you very much for your time and good luck with the charity.
Thank you.
Well, next tonight here on Brockley News, we take you back to Thursday evening here at the RNOH, which saw the annual Junior Doctors Fireworks display held here in the hospital. Now, 2 of our reporters went along to see what happened. So let's join Emma O'Connor and Molly Townsend.
We are here at the RNOH Fireworks and we are really looking forward to what we're about to see. Hopefully the RNOH will go all out and we'll see some pretty things tonight. It's chilly, there's warm food, and we're all wrapped up and ready for some fun fireworks and food. I'm here with Jess, who's here at the fireworks. How are you enjoying tonight, Jess?
Yeah, it's good. There's food and sparklers and glow sticks.
And is this your first time at the RNOH Fireworks?
Yeah,
And are you looking forward to it?
definitely.
So are you at the hospital or did you come here from home?
At the hospital.
And are they treating you well there?
Yeah, definitely. They're lovely.
And so what's your favourite type of firework that you're looking forward to seeing tonight?
Catherine wheel, and I like the rockets.
The rockets, did you say? Yeah, they're my favourite too. Do you have any favourite colour combinations?
Nah, I like all of them.
Me too. Thank you very much for speaking to us. Okay, so I'm here with Pavid and Virat. Say hi. Hi. And I can see you have some lovely burgers there. Are they nice? They're tasty?
Yeah.
And what are these? What are these little things here?
They're glow sticks.
Glow sticks. Wow, they're beautiful. How are you enjoying the atmosphere of firework night?
I'm enjoying it very well. Yeah, same for me.
Don't you?
Yeah.
They're excited to see fireworks today.
And are you excited?
Oh yeah, because they enjoy it. So that's all I want.
And you enjoy?
Yeah, yes. Like as a family, yeah, that's all you want, isn't it?
Well, thank you very much for speaking to us and enjoy the fireworks.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so we are joined by 2 more people who are looking forward to the fireworks tonight. What's your names?
Jessica.
Amy.
And did you have to travel far to get here tonight?
No, not really.
Good. So what are you looking forward to the most about this evening?
The fireworks.
Well, you seem to have a few sparklers there. Yeah. So you're starting your own kind of fireworks.
Yeah.
And glow sticks too.
Yeah,
You're all prepared?
we are.
Well, we hope you enjoy the fireworks and thank you for speaking to us.
Okay, thanks.
We are here with Olivia and Alex, 2 children who are looking forward to seeing the fireworks tonight. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Great!
Brilliant. Are you looking forward to them a lot? 1 to 10, how much are you looking forward to them?
10.
10. Now, Olivia, I can see that you've got some glow sticks around you. Where did you find them?
On a free table.
A free table. Things are brilliant when they are free. Now, do you have favourite fireworks that you're looking forward to?
No.
Do you like everything?
Yes.
Good. And Olivia, apparently you have a favourite word that you'd like to say tonight.
Scrumdiddlyumptious.
Thank you very much for speaking to us. Hello, what's your name?
Ariana.
Hello, Ariana. That's a beautiful name, and you have some beautiful glow sticks there as well.
Thank you.
So, are you looking forward to the fireworks tonight?
Yeah.
And what's your favourite firework? Do you know?
No.
Are you just going to wait to see? Have you ever been to a fireworks night before?
Yeah, and guess what my favourite band is? One Direction!
Woo! Well, this is going on the radio, so after this interview we might have a song by One Direction. What's your favourite One Direction song?
What makes you beautiful?
Oh, lovely. Thank you for speaking to us, Ariana.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye. We are here with Joe, who has front row seats standing place for the fireworks tonight.
Right by the hedge, yeah.
How are you looking forward to it?
I'm sort of counting down. I was told they were supposed to start at 7, and I'm a bit like, come on, let's do a countdown, get going.
They are a bit late. Did you have to travel far to get here tonight?
No, not really. Only Pinner, so not too bad.
And so, is this your first fireworks display you've been to this year? Or?
It's not. No, I did go to one on Saturday. So I've nicely done before and after the actual fireworks night. So I think I've done quite well.
And Were we like avid fireworks goers?
What are we? Well, I certainly, it's my favourite night of the year, I'll be honest. Beats
Really?
Christmas. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I absolutely love fireworks. So yeah, well, I've dragged my mum here, my mum has dragged me, I don't know. But yeah, we do. We like to come here for the fireworks every year. So.
And do you have a link to the RNOH?
My dad works here, he's a consultant anaesthetist.
Oh, brilliant. Wow.
So, and in actual fact, I do runs sometimes to raise money. That's probably about the best link, those
That's what
two.
we love to hear. Well, thank you very much for speaking to us.
Absolute pleasure.
Thank you. I really wish we could take a picture of these fireworks. They're absolutely beautiful. We've got our first Catherine wheel of the night. We are back with Olivia and Alex, who've seen the fireworks. Did you enjoy them?
Yes. Yeah. Very much.
What was the highlight for you this evening?
Watching the fireworks, then going to McDonald's.
Ah, everybody enjoys the McDonald's, don't they?
Yeah.
But there's some good food here tonight. Do you think we'll have any of that?
Maybe.
What was your favourite firework, Olivia?
The Catherine wheel.
Alex?
The golden one. The big golden one.
We like the gold ones too. And do you think you'll be coming again next year?
I don't know.
Would you like to?
Yeah.
You're welcome.
We are here with Robert, who's a frequent bingo player. How did you enjoy tonight?
I enjoyed tonight very, very well. I thought I was too old to be impressed by fireworks, but I was astonishingly impressed. I felt like I was about 8 years old again.
I don't think anyone's too old to be impressed by fireworks.
That is true. That is true. Bring out the child in all of us.
Yes. So, do you think we'll be coming next year again?
Well, I might actually be an inpatient same time next year as they operate on my other arm, so who knows? But there's always lots of things going on with a spire down here, so I might have my head in and out the door a lot.
Did you have a favourite firework?
I like the collective when they go off continuously for about 30 seconds. That's always quite impressive.
Definitely, definitely. Well, thank you very much for speaking to us.
That's all right. I hope the rest of your evening goes swimmingly. I'm trying to be good and not eat a hot dog.
Okay, we're here with Anna. Hello, Anna.
Hello.
We heard you had some winnings on the bingo.
Yeah.
What did you get? One of our...
A cup.
Yeah.
I got a pen. I got this
Fuzzy bug?
pom.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's it. Did you enjoy playing bingo?
yes,
Good. And how about the fireworks? Did you have a favourite firework tonight?
probably all of them.
Aww. If you had one word to use to describe the fireworks tonight, what would you say?
Beautiful.
Oh, isn't that lovely? Thank you very much, Anna, for speaking to us. And we hope you win bingo again this week.
Well, this is Malcolm Smith from Supreme Fireworks, and I just hope you all enjoyed that. And we are so lucky with the weather. We were expecting showers, and it keeps changing, and but it's been dry and nice, and the wind was in the right direction, so that's fantastic.
Well, it was absolutely marvellous. What's it like being here in the background?
Well, what's it like? Excitement, anticipation, being very well aware that a lot of the fireworks are explosives and you do have to take the utmost precautions.
Thank you very much for speaking to us.
Anyway, can I just put a plug in, because we also do special effects for films, and coming out is some of our work on a film with George Clooney and Matt Damon called The Monuments Men, which is due out in December. Please go and see that. It's a war film, but there is some amount of humour in it, and watch out for Matt Damon stepping on a dud mine, and just think how hard it is to create a dud explosion.
Wow, we admire your work. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
We will look out for that.
Yeah, well, thank you very much.
Thank you. We have had a fantastic time. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. Have you, Emma?
The fireworks have been absolutely amazing. They've just been so beautiful. And I didn't go last year, so this is almost like catching up on 2 years of fireworks.
It was a pretty huge display, and we've been asking everyone what their favourite firework has been. What's yours, Emma?
Oh, I think I'd have to say the Catherine Wheel. I heard someone before saying that it was like a Hot Wheel. They were like, oh my gosh,
yeah.
It's like a Hot Wheel, it's like a Hot Wheel. And that's a perfect way of describing it.
We had 2 Hot Wheels tonight.
Yeah.
And yeah, nice and traditional.
But think about it, it takes almost an hour to clear up, and there's 4 people clearing up. So
and I'm sure it's a pretty expensive thing too.
Yeah, 10 minutes of absolutely fantastic. But I'd say more than 10 minutes.
Yeah, maybe 20, 25?
Yeah.
Pretty good. Thank you very much, RNOH.
And a big thanks to Emma and Molly as well for that tremendous package. Hopefully you got some of the atmosphere across there during the RNOH fireworks, which took place on Thursday this week. Don't forget you can listen again to Brockley News by following the links from our website at www.radiobrockley.org. You can listen to our brand new YouTube site as well, and you can catch Brockley News Extra 5 days a week at midday for another chance to hear some of our recent interviews. Up next on Radio Brockley, it's Bedside Bingo with David Rauch. Your chance to win some goodies. You've been hearing about that during the fireworks package as well. And then at 9 tonight, it's all your choice of tunes on the Brockley Gold Request Show, or rather the Sunday Request Show, now with Keith Reeve. Brockley News returns at the same time next week. From me, Alan Joyce, though, good night.